trade rumors coming up on today's edition of NBN NBA Now. Updates on Lauri Markkanen, Brandon Ingram, Zach Lavine, and yes, Kevin Durant as well. Before we get into that, Tom Downey here, since everyone else is off enjoying their actual 4th of July holiday, because, there's NBA stuff we had to get done instead. We are 85 subs away from 379,000. Can we get there today? It is possible. We've had 85 subs before in a video. There's going to be at least 85 of you who aren't subscribed, so hit that sub button for more free NBA coverage all off-season long. Let's begin with latest on a potential Lauri Markkanen trade. He might be the best realistically available NBA trade target out there, but there is some doubt, some question about what the cost ends up looking like and if the Jazz will actually move the talented, still young forward. Now, ESPN, Zach Lowe linked several teams that could have interest in Markkanen. The San Antonio Spurs, which I think is a really fun fit. The Miami Heat. The Kings, who may or may not be as interested now after landing DeMar DeRozan. We'll see how that potentially plays out. And the Golden State Warriors. Now, what's noteworthy here is that Tony Jones, who covers the Jazz, says the Warriors have an offer on the table at this point. A substantial offer, by the way, on the table. Now, he says the offers that have come in so far for Markkanen are predominantly pick-based. And I think that's an issue. Even if the Warriors are willing to add Jonathan Kuminga as part of this trade, the trade package that the Warriors could offer from a pick-based perspective isn't as great. It's 2 unprotected first-rounders in 2026, 2028 as the linchpins of that deal. Does that really move the needle for trader Danny Ainge, who always finds a way to maximize his trade assets, for a guy like Lauri Markkanen? Fair or not, he's probably going to try to get something resembling the Mikal Bridges trade, which, of course, was a ton of draft picks going back that way. Remember, it was 6 first-round picks, 4 unprotected, a 2025 protected one, a 2028 unprotected pick swap, and then Bogdanovich to help make the money work there. I think it has to be a massive offer for the Jazz to move away from Markkanen. Now, it would help their tanking plans. I think they're going to give him away for anything. We'll get to an update here from Marc Stein as part of this video as well. But predictions first. Will the Jazz trade away Lauri Markkanen? Why for yes and for no? Go vote at the pinned comment of today's show, especially if that ad comes here on YouTube. I think a very noteworthy update, that's why I'm putting it in the show, obviously, from Marc Stein. It says more than one rival team has shared the observation it would be difficult for the Jazz to trade in the short term, even if they wanted to. It complicates Jazz efforts to get a trade package in return for Markkanen on the level of Brooks' haul for Mikal Bridges when Markkanen is not under team control for more than a season and when his salary is relatively low. They have a much better chance to command a Bridges-style offer filled with future draft picks like New York, like New York agreed to furnish the Nets if Markkanen 27 is signed to an extension. Now, he can't sign an extension for, call it 2 months. We'll round a little bit there. Markkanen has taken a big step forward in his time with the Utah Jazz. The points per game have gone up. The efficiency has gone up from deep. Bulls was pretty good, which Bulls regret probably not getting much back in that trade. At least the Cavs got Donovan Mitchell, right? The points per game have skyrocketed. He's young. He's talented. He's actually on a super cheap contract right now, but you would have to work out a longer-term deal, in August when he's eligible for that extension. And it might be more feasible to make that work after an extension is signed. So this one might not be going away anytime soon. We'll monitor what that market looks like here on the show. Let's move to Brandon Ingram, another still somewhat young forward who's been linked in plenty of NBA trade rumors of the Pelicans want to move him. There's not an extension. Here's what Marc Stein said a couple days ago on the Ingram trade rumors. Quote, attempts in New Orleans to trade Ingram have intensified in recent days, league sources say. Sources tell the sideline that on Ingram's side, with the reality of the contract extension terms his camp had hoped for are not forthcoming from the Pelicans, there has likewise been exploration of trade options. Now, the Kings had been linked as part of this again. They made this, I don't know if we can call DeMar DeRozan a splash, but they made the move to add DeMar DeRozan. Does that take them out? Ingram's play regressed this past year. He played in more games and was a bit banged up, obviously, come playoff time. But the three-point shooting dropped right alongside the points per game. The efficiency was better from the field overall, but it's a sizable three-point percentage drop there. It's maybe the 39% was more of an outlier here. He's been a little inconsistent in that area. Pelicans seemingly don't want to pay him big money. I think with the second apron rules, though, teams are a lot less inclined to be aggressive in adding an additional potential star player. And I think that has negatively impacted Ingram as a result. Now, if you have not already got your NBA draft hats for this year, you can get yours over at chatsports.com/NBA draft hats. Kind of crazy how quickly the draft comes and goes, and then you're into free agency, and now free agency is kind of dying down, and it's all about trades. It's kind of crazy. And the Summer League is just around the corner, too. In fact, it's, I guess, underway. Go to chatsports.com/NBA draft hats. Get your official NBA draft hats for your favorite team. You have to filter. There's a ton of options, some throwback ones, too. A lot of variation there. So get yours today. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. It's chatsports.com/NBA draft hats. Let's go to the Chicago Bulls. A report out of Chicago from NBC Sports Chicago is the Bulls have sent out upwards of 15 trade proposals to teams over the last few weeks. The Kings and Warriors had shown the most interest. I think given their recent movements, I kind of wonder if they're done trying to go after Zach Lavine, especially with the Kings getting DeMar DeRozan. Like that kind of that course already got tried in Chicago. Like I think it'd be really weird to trade for Lavine if you were the Kings. Warriors, I think, might have their eyes on a Markkanen or somebody else there. Also reported is that the other teams want an asset back to take on that Zach Lavine contract. It's not viewed as a good one around the association. He's owed $43 million this year, $46 million next year, nearly $49 million in 26 to 27. There's a player option tacked on to that. Oh, by the way, there's a 15% trade kicker. It's not a very good contract if you're trying to trade Zach Lavine. His play has fallen off this past year. Now, injuries were obviously a big factor in that. He can still get you, I think, 24 points a game, but if you're trying to be a true end contending team, I don't know if the age, the injury stuff, the play style, I don't know if that works well if Lavine's anything more than your number 3. And I think teams are hesitant to pay that much money for a number 3 with the semi-draconian rules the new NBA CBA has installed. So will the Bulls end up trading away Zach Lavine? A for yes, B for no. We're talking about this offseason, by the way, not potentially down the line when it comes in expiring or whatever. A for yes, B for no in the comments. Finally, Kevin Durant trade rumors are back, specifically that Kevin Durant did not like the way that he had been, the way the reporting had gone around him this offseason. Spoke with Yahoo Sports and said this: you could just press the KD want to leave button anytime you want some attention. Yes, it's a button. What else is going to get people going around this time? Besides, the journeyman leaves again. That story is always going to hit. It's hard not to hear what they have to say about you, especially because when you could just make up lies and everyone's going to believe you. For someone to say, Phoenix wants to get out of the KD business, I'm sitting here like, where is this coming from? It bothers me that people lie like that and the audience eats up the headline. I get sad when people buy into lies and just make up expletive, delete him. Now, part of the reason why people tend to believe that is it's happened before. He went from the Thunder to the Golden State Warriors, the hardest road, right? Went to the Brooklyn Nets. That fell apart. Demanded a trade to the Suns, which it kind of just feels like KD keeps trying to join up super teams. Which, hey, you're trying to win championships. I get it. It's also not the hardest road. So at some point, you think Durant will demand another trade. 1 for yes, 0 for no. Durant's still a damn good basketball player. I do think that is worth mentioning. He continues to shoot really efficiently, gets buckets from deep, gets buckets overall, has great size, great length. For a player of his age, I think Durant has developed his game. He's 36 this year, by the way. That's kind of, and I don't think he's shown massive signs of falling off. He's only a couple years younger than LeBron James is. Now, that's not to say that it's perfect or he's going to continue to maintain his high level of play, but Durant's overall arching point was this final one. Don't let that blind you from what I'm doing on the basketball court, because that could go irritate you as a fan. Damn, this guy's leaving again. Even if I do leave, I'm playing good basketball, though. Like what matters? Does it matter that I got a jersey on or I'm playing or the basketball that I'm playing? I want better from the fans. I want them to enjoy the experience, but when you're thinking about narratives and lies like that, it tends to deviate. I think for some, it does matter what jersey you're wearing. You're a Suns fan, it matters what jersey you're wearing. So I get Durant's point, but he's going to have a tough time beating the job hopper allegations until he sticks around for more than a few years in one spot.